Hi Aries, and welcome to your brief overview of 2017. This is just brief themes of what's to come potentially for 2017. I do monthlies and I do weeklies as well, but you've got a really interesting picture here, Aries, basically. Now, what the top cards are the lessons you're bringing with you from 2016 into 2017. Now, first of all, you got the Three of Discs. So many of you have been learning new skills, have been practicing your craft. Quite often this is working with others, and you're being almost recognised for the skills that you do. The more you get a very, very fascinating combination of cards here, Aries, for what you've learned. Now you've got the Queen of Wands paired with the Nine of Swords. Now the only way I can understand and interpret these two cards is to make a really big judgment that some Aries have healed their sense of self-esteem. This Nine of Swords is a shadow card. It's all those parts of us that are unhealed. It's these thoughts in our mind, we're not good enough, we're not this enough. And the Queen of Wands is a very empowered fire sign. And I think Aries, many of you have really dug and really healed that sense of self-esteem, which makes sense with this Three of Discs as well, because quite often if you see one of the figures, they've been risen above, they've been appreciated for the work that they do, for the contribution they make to the world around them. But what's sticking out is that healing of the self-esteem, Aries. Now, the Nine of Swords is always also about fear and anxiety, and I think there's been a lot of healing to do with that. It's almost you became really empowered in your own self, and you're taking these lessons into 2017. And this doesn't refer to you, you've still got 3 weeks left to keep healing those old beliefs, those that keep us small, that keep us trapped, because you are, in 2017, your intention for your life is a complete rebirth, the complete ending of one karmic cycle and the beginning of a new one. And what's even more amazing is what's supporting you is the World card. So basically, these two together are a total powerhouse. This is about, the Judgment card is about being born again. If you look at the picture, they're rising out of the coffins and they're giving thanks for everything they're receiving. And I'm not too sure what exactly you are receiving. You've got some quite good financial cards, and you've got really interesting relationship cards. But this is you feeling renewed, feeling that you've got new life. And what's supporting you is basically the world. The complete ending of a chapter and the beginning of a new one. And you sort of feel that the world's your oyster. You're beginning to feel so much more empowered, Aries. And that brings me back to these two cards that you're bringing forward with you. That healing of that voice in our head that tells us we're not this enough, we're not that enough. And you coming in as the Queen of Wands is absolute empowerment. Loving it, loving it. And it's not gender specific, remember guys, this is for men or women. So you're so supported in this transformation. Now what your challenge is the Hermit. Now there's multiple ways to see this, as you know. I think sometimes some of you could be challenged to find time to spend on your own, time to spend in self-reflection, particularly for those Aries whose new projects and financial ventures have taken off this year. It might be a challenge for you to get solitude, to get quiet time, to self-reflect. that sort of thing. That's what I'm getting, but more understanding of this Hermit in this position might come up as a challenge card. But often when the Hermit comes up in the challenge card, it's just because we're so busy and life's very, very dynamic. And with these two cards as your intention and what's supporting you in this intention, and that Queen of Wands as a lesson, there's just so much energy, Aries, this year. Plus, in your relationship house, you've got such interesting cards. You've got the Hierophant, very traditional ways. It's also about your own inner code of ethics. Paired with the Ace of Wands, fire, new beginning, spirituality, just you got loads of drive and loads of passion in your relationship house. I think some of you could be getting married this year or desiring to get married. It's almost that you want that security and also you've got the King of Cups as your outcome, which is very often stabilizing relationships. So yes, and I think that's why the Hermit's coming up as a challenge. I think this is a really dynamic year for you, Aries. You've got so much life force, so many big cosmic energy supporting you as well. Now in your money card, you've got in work, you've got temperance. This is about balance. So I think you're going to be asked to balance out career and your emotional life, and I think you're going to have to work quite hard to find that middle way. So what I say was the middle way is just trying, you know, time for work, time for relationships. You're having to balance your head and your heart and find clarity, find direction. This is the Alchemist card. It's about turning one thing into another, balancing opposites together. Now, it's an interesting card to get in your money house. But bear with me with the rest of the cards because it might make more sense. Now, how you're feeling about yourself and your spirituality is the Emperor. Now, I think this is where the temperance is going to be able to make more sense. You're really concentrating on manifesting your vision, basically. This is the manifestor. This is the archetypal father of the deck. So this is about going out, building a career, building a business, Aries. And I think that's why temperance has came up, because it's asking you to keep balancing out the opposites, because you've got also relationships to look after. And I think that's why the Hermit's your challenge card, because you're going to be working really hard in your career, particularly with this Three of Discs. And the outcome cards, more work, more focusing on your craft, on creativity, on production. And then you pulled the 9, you pulled loads of cards, they all come out together. So this is great money card, loads of focus on work, on achievement, and then you pulled 2 kings, King of Wands and the King of Cups. I think some Aries, now you cannot make sweeping predictions, I think you probably know that already. With this Hierophant in your relationship house, I think some Aries are going to be getting married, are particularly settling down. The Kings are always about commitment, the more mature people. So it's a very committed thing. And you've got a water and you've got a fire person there. That King of Cups particularly is a very, very committed, loyal relationship. But I think some of your art is going to be balancing out work and relationships, and that's why you've got temperance here. Because you're going to have to learn to juggle. And you're going to have to learn to find time for your career and your relationships, because you've got a big career year. And that's why the Hermit's your challenge, because I think in finding time for self-reflection is going to be very, very hard. This is incredible, Aries. And what I'm loving particularly is Your intent is this whole new rebirth. It's like you're going, right, whole new year. I'm coming into 2017 empowered. I'm starting again. And boy, are you supported in this endeavour. It's just a fantastic reading. And I think the key is the temperance here. You're going to have to learn to balance stuff out. You do not want to go too rigid with the Emperor, particularly with all these fantastic money cards, because you've also got love commitments with these two kings and the Hierophant. Loads of new love energy here, or moving a relationship to a much more committed part. Now, I'm sorry, this was an awful lot covered in 15 minutes. It's just a glance, Aries. It's just an idea of the themes that want to manifest for 2017. Keep looking out for my weekly and monthlies. I'll keep coming back to the Hermit as your challenge. Okay, Aries, I hope this helped. Okay, bye.